empty hearts and neon lights. They're playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. La 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 la. Oh, oh. Get me out of broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time. Yeah, I wanna run off and fly. And I'll tell myself it's fine to be alone, just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Get me out of now. To where we started out. Oh no. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna light it up, babe. Tonight, we gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna light it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Better off. I am wicked, you're insane. I wouldn't have it any other way. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance, pound for pound. We're a perfect match, pulling punches. We're toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off, and we can. Better off, better off, better off. I am crooked, you're clean cuts. I'm wide-eyed, your eyes are shut. If we're knocked out, we'll go the distance, pound for pound. We're a perfect match, pulling punches. Or toe to toe, we're always on the road. Worse or better, we can't stop, we can't stop. 'Cause together we're better off, and we can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. They said, don't fall. Don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run. Don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. They said, be meek. Look beneath the bed before you go to sleep. Keep on, I shine. Will surely get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. On to the place where all this began. Just start again. Won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall first to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Streamline Minor League Tournament. I am your caster, Pond, joined today by Forge. Forge, how's it going, man?
Hello, Pond. Good to be here. Thanks for the glorious introduction, as always. So I hope
Glorious.
everybody is doing great here over the start to another weekend. On behalf of Streamline Productions, we would all like to welcome you for another, hopefully, exciting game over here. Pond?
Yeah, no exciting games going on here. Siege is such a boring game. All jokes aside, we are going to be moving on to the map ban phase, and V5 and Rival, two very strong teams. We saw V5 really give the work to we saw them really put in the work last week as they played the lovely Gamer Syndicate and really just dominated that game. So and Rival absolutely taking out Air Esports. So as we're going on to this map ban phase, we are going to see Coastline and Theme Park taken off first. Two very interesting maps. I think Rival looked at V5's game and had said, okay, V5 plays very aggressively. We're not going to want to take them to any smaller maps where they're able to just frag out. And as I say that, console will be taken off the board, which would be in a very similar note.
Okay, surprisingly, I haven't seen Consulate get banned yet, but I am seeing Oregon out of the board. So that's a sort of a contrast to the coastline ban, which was a frag-sided map, like you said. So that's one frag and two strat-heavy maps out of the equation. So I think because we can see one of these bans become more of a target ban, while the other one is a general ban. Let's just take it out to be play on the safer side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in this tournament so far, Consulate is just an auto ban. And we're gonna be left between Villa, Cafe, and Clubhouse. I'm feeling Clubhouse, honestly. If I was a betting man, I'd say we'd be going to Clubhouse today. A lot of teams like to take Clubhouse, and I mean, we've seen V5 on there, and just the absolute dominance they reign. And I haven't watched Rival. I haven't casted any of Rival's games, but from what I have from my analyst notes, is that they play a lot more of a passive play style. But they do wide peak quite a bit, and they are going to take Villa off. So it's going to be between Cafe and Clubhouse, two very good maps. I was just playing a little bit of ranked and hit up Clubhouse a bunch last night, and
Yeah, so well, like Pond here said, Clubhouse is the one that is going to be is the game that we're going to be
be the
playing now. Oh, okay. Seems to be
map
interference.
we're going.
Yeah, so I guess Pond will be back soon. There seems to be internet issues on both our end, but I guess it's Pond's turn to face the music this time, unfortunately. So, like mentioned, we had Coastline, Consulate, Cafe, Oregon, Theme Park, and Villa out, and we will be going to Clubhouse. So Clubhouse, no surprise.
Clubhouse, no surprise there. Hoping that fixed my internet issues. Maybe for a little bit of more of a temporary fix. Going back to Clubhouse, definitely our most seen map. Was actually the first map you and I casted together. I don't know if you.
Yep, I do remember that.
I believe that was our first. That was our first 2 weeks of casting. It was you and me casting 6 matches on Clubhouse.
I don't think it was six, maybe four or five. Four, I guess, because SWAT was casting with us. He also did too. I think in the second week he casted more with you than I did.
Yeah.
So it was, I think,
Yeah.
overall we would say we did do Clubhouse the most together, I guess.
Yeah. Um, and we are going to be seeing the blue team starting out on attack, that being Rival, and we're going to be seeing V5 starting out on defense. And I kind of want to just talk a little bit about some of like the players on V5. We've seen Unknown Gamer be very strong on this map. The same with Viper. And not to and not to discredit the rest of the players, but Viper and Unknown Gamer really took over their last match on Clubhouse. And when we played, I believe it was their first week, we saw Unknown Gamer go 7-0 playing on the catwalk as the Wamai and really being the strong anchor in their support, not being the anchor as in the playing role, but really being the guy that really solidified their defense. And Viper going for some more of those cheeky kills. And to talk a little bit about Rival, we saw Bambi and One Up really shine out. I mean, those were two players that really came alive. And if my analyst notes do me any favors, I'm really excited to see how they're playing today. But I know quite a bit about V5. I've seen them play a lot. I have a lot of notes on how they're going, and I'm really excited to see if Viper and Unknown Gamer are able to pick it up today. I could see them taking this, and we are going to be moving into our match. We're going to be starting with the operator ban phase. And Forge, what are you thinking about seeing in this phase? Any crazy picks you're expecting?
I don't really think so. I mean, Thatcher ban is pretty straightforward here. It goes without saying, Ubisoft might as well just give us a Thatcher ban button during match setup. Post that, I might be seeing the same Maverick ban. I'm getting slightly bold over here. Maybe they might take Maverick out of the board. It's going to be harder for attack, but if they do that, it's a double-edged sword. But Monty, okay. Again, Monty is not a surprise. We do see some Monty pushes coming, especially from tunnel or from oil pit or from the stock room through blue stairs. That's what's called. Yeah, from blue stairs. So taking that out allows Legion, I would say, some freedom in holding off any of the other sites, any of the other angles. Maybe Legion could go for a 1F room. So Mira being banned as the defense first ban. So again, not a rare ban. Mira and Valkyrie as well, because both these two provide a good amount of intel, and Mira itself is a site influencer. You generally have more or less a mandatory pick for Mira for holding off the jacuzzi wall from the toilet, and even in basement side. So that takes it out. I'm guessing we would again see a slight variation of the SSG hold. What do you think?
Based on the attacker or based on the defender lineup right now, I'm not expecting to see an SSG hold at all. We've seen a lot of teams move a little bit further away from it just because it's really hard to execute and you have to have that communication to rotate your roamers back to site. It looks like Nostalgia was planning to go for that Echo all along. Just deciding to put it out in the 6 pick phase. And I'm surprised Echo made it through here instead of Valk. I would have expected Valkyrie to not be banned. I mean, we did see, I believe it was Unknown Gamer kind of go off of the Valk, so that might have been a little bit more towards a targeted ban. But again, we will be seeing Church Arsenal first, and the SSG strat, we saw it a lot in the first few play days, but no team was able to really capitalize on it because you have to know how to play the strat. You have to know when the calls to come back to site are, and that communication is something that a lot of teams don't work on. They just assume the roam works based on the setup, and that's really the difference. And a lot of the times when I'll explain to teams, it's like there's a difference between a setup and an execute, and you can set up that SSG roam pretty easily. I mean, I can get a team of coppers to get that going, but being able to execute it and communicate it back and hold off the specific angles, look at the intel, know where the teams are pushing from, and know how to delay that, that's really when the strat becomes as good as it is. And that's why I think that SSG does it really the best.
Yeah, and also point to be considered is if, say, your attack, because SSG hold generally requires somebody playing in either gyms or in construction, and if that site gets compromised early on, you're essentially giving attackers free rein into the site that is right below, because it requires hatches to be open, unlike every other defensive strat. So if construction or gym falls, the whole of bar is now under the control of attack. And if that falls, which is relatively easy when the top hold falls, then the site is open to attack. I mean, hatch control is immediately in the favor of attack, and then the strat falls pretty quickly. So it's a volatile strat that tips heavily towards defense or heavily towards attack, provided attack gets the picks early on or defense fails early on. So here we are seeing a kitchen being attempted as quickly as possible. 1 minute 40 seconds in, the hatch is being, they're attempting to open the hatch. So that at least takes out the electro clause, and I think they can start the breaches now. Crits of rival on Hibana. IQ's already pushed up to the double doors from the main stairways. So we might be seeing some pressure coming, and the kite falls first on reaction of RVL getting a good early pick, and Psycho as well going down on the buck and getting the pick early on. That's attack making a well-timed push here. This is not something that's happening late in the round. There's no 20-second meta that we're seeing, so it's going well. The side control is still in favor of defense. Bandit probably trying to get a C4, but IQ's rushing.
Yeah, he's really putting a lot of his focus towards Moto, and two big picks off the board. That's your Echo, that's your plant denial, and that is a huge take from the likes of Rival. And we are going to be seeing Reaction push up here, trying to look for something. He has the pings. He knows where that player is. He knows that he's more likely than not behind AKs or boxes, and they're really just going to drop into sight and try and get that plant down. They're holding off this post plant. Viper getting his first pick onto Reaction, playing out in that hallway. And you're going to be seeing one up push in. Bambi is downed in the site. Ooh, caught without knowing what was going down. Psycho left with the diffuser. Bambi's down. This went from being a 5v3 to essentially a 2v1. Unknown Gamer pushing up, taking out that player that was initially down, switching over to that shotgun, taking Psycho off the board, and that is the round. Beautifully played 5v5.
That just went from a attacker-sided round to a defender-sided round very quickly. So props to Virtual 5 for a good retake. They seem to be getting the frags just when it's necessary. So just giving attackers the relief that, okay, now we are safe enough to go for a plant. Virtual 5 jumps in. Good place from both the bandit and the smoke. Smoke holding off tunnel pretty well. He had a good angle. I know holding off blue all the way from tunnel is pretty hard, the SMG-11, but that's still sufficient pressure being put. Towards the end, the first round of the game goes to Virtual 5.
Yeah, so to kind of talk a little bit about what went down in that round, they got two very early picks. Reaction pushed down main stairs and took out the player playing in long hallway, caught him rotating out of church. Rough pick for Price, but you know, it happens. And then Nostalgia was taken out by, I believe, vertical play into Arsenal, and a rough pick. That's your Echo off the board. However, the attackers got open kitchen hatch, got open moto hatch, had both hatch controls, but they decided to drop into Arsenal without having any solidified control in church or any solidified control in blue or any solidified control in dirt. You can't just drop into Arsenal and expect to take control of Arsenal if you don't have confirmed control in either church, blue, or dirt. Because what that does is it allows for the defenders to really kind of box you in, and you're essentially backed into a corner having to fight your way out. And you saw it didn't play in the favor of the defenders. They still had the smoke on the board. They still had that plant denial. So even though they had the man advantage with the decision to drop into Arsenal, it was the defenders' round to lose. All they had to do is win their gunfights, and attackers had no advantageous positioning to put themselves in.
Yeah, so I think. Never mind my comment. Price gets an early kill onto Maverick. So this is probably. I think he's doing this from. Well, where's he? Okay, he's doing this from the rafters, getting an angle onto Maverick, trying to open the top wall, opening the line in the top wall, and this is a pretty good kill early on, because now the wall isn't open. The kites and bandits are still up. and Hibana's left all alone to attempt to get one of the two walls because she can't get both walls now. So this is the and while at it, reaction's also dead. So IQ's out of the board. So if she was trying to get the Legion mines off, so attack can get some unhindered push, that's out of the equation. So defense has an exponential advantage right now.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, and you really don't want to leave V5 at a man advantage. All of these players are really big impact players, especially the likes of Nanny, Viper, and Unknown. And Nostalgia we've seen come up quite big, but interesting. It was some interesting decision making by the attack right there. I don't want to seem like I'm leaning more towards V5. It's the team I know a lot more of, but like looking at how Rival is going right now, they have the executes they want in mind. You can see that, but they aren't gaining any solidified map control. They're doing a lot of off-site clearing, but they're not setting up their cross angles in order to take site. But now they have two players rotating up main stairs. Psycho knows that, but he's gonna rotate out. He's not gonna want to actively engage in that gunfight. And Viper's gonna be very patient, and we're seeing two attackers moving right there. Nostalgia getting the first, Unknown with the second, and Nostalgia clearing it up. That is a flawless round done by the defense.
That was a quick set of kills. That was a flurry of kills that came out of nowhere. I think so I assume that the call was they were already pushing sites. So I think it was Krix on Ash or somebody else. So whoever was on Ash who was trying to hold off the main stairs was probably asked to return to push site immediately, which didn't work out. I guess the presence in site was far too much for them to handle. Psycho, my mistake. So that's 2 rounds in a row for Virtual Fire Gaming. Their holds are pretty textbook holds, except for the Nostalgia being the Ella right now. Switched about rather textbook holds that we're seeing, but they're holding it off very well. They're pushing it all the way to the end of the round, making sure that attack is put into a situation where they need to make haste and go for risky pushes. So it's working out well in favor of V5.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that V5 does very well is their late round rotates. You can see that for that round in particular, they were trying very, very hard to get that construction execute down, but you can't really get a construction execute down unless you have control of rafters, or if you have a player push up red stairs. Without either of those coming in, there isn't a whole ton you can do on an attack. Again, the attack, I mean, this time around they weren't able to get any of those early picks, but they're being left in a situation where all three of the attackers are in the same general vicinity. All of the other, essentially, I call them off-push attackers, where they aren't on the main execute to get the plant down, but they're trying to gain map control to set up crossfires for picks. As soon as those go down, we saw it in the first round with Reaction and Bambi going down, or my apologies, Reaction and 1UP going down, one playing the Sledge, one playing the IQ in Church Arsenal. Once those two attackers went down, all three players left in Arsenal, all three players were taken out. This time we saw, I believe it was Reaction and Bambi taken out early. All three players were in construction. All three players were taken out. If they weren't taken out while rushing the site, Viper and I believe it's Viper and Nanny were ready on a flank coming in from master bedroom. So I really do like the positioning of the defense right now, but the attack really need to gain the map control they want, and they need to hold that map control to go for their executes.
Right, and at the same time, I would say they did not have the aggressive time management that we saw in the round 1. In round 1, we saw IQ from Reaction pushing into the main hallway very quickly and getting that early pick. He lost out there because he was the only person pushing there in the hallway, which put her at a major disadvantage from 2 angles, which the Bandit later capitalized on. So I guess they attempted to be slightly more passive in the second round, which didn't work out in their favor. Solo pushes were not the best thing at the moment. So right now we're seeing Nostalgia being cyberbullied, but it doesn't work. Nostalgia gets the revenge for all those flashes, and he gets another kill onto Bambi. So that's frags also out of the equation. But he even with a sliver of health, he's holding it off very well. Chat is starting to get a little Merc NA like, just one step away from good night, I guess. So now construction, I mean, Crix is attempting to get some angles to try and clear out construction so that they can push into bedroom. But they have the wall open, so that's a good thing. That's with 47 seconds left, at least the wall's open, so they know they have an angle onto the hallway. But defense is still down in comparison to, so attack is still down compared to defense.
That push right there was the prime example of you're gonna need to call an ambulance, but not for me. Nostalgia getting 2 quick picks, and we are seeing as 1UP is just pushing in right now, trying to equalize this out for his team. He has control of Jim. Crix pushing up those main stairs, but it's all gonna be left on to Viper in a 1v2. 1UP trying to get that intel to get that diffuser down, knowing that there's a player from below. C4 is going to go out. It's not going to land anything as the diffuser is going to go down, and it's all going to be left up to Viper to take control of this in a post-plant situation. He's going to be pushing up the main stairs. The attackers, more likely than not, are going to be aware of his positioning. He's going to try and peek. He's going to go and try and find something, but you have one player in logistics and another one with a cross angle behind the bed in master, or he's not behind the bed in master bedroom, but he's going to be playing in master bedroom. So if he's able to get this, player in master bedroom, which looks like he should be able to, if he's able to win out this gunfight, he's not going to be left with much time to take out Crix. Crix is just going to rotate around, try and waste as much time as possible. There's not going to be enough time to get that diffuser down. Viper's going to be taken out, and that is going to be the first round one for Rival.
Yeah, this round was almost Ghana's for Rival, but the maverick of 1UP taking matters into his own hands, making that first attempt to get sorry, my mistake. The first kill onto smoke, holding down the hallway towards Jacuzzi wall was really the game changer, because then it allowed him safe and quick access into Jim, and then the quick prone kill onto whoever was holding Jim from bedroom. That more or less sealed the round. That more or less got closer to sealing the round to them, because he now had the control of both sides, provisional control, I would say. And then the Hibana pushing in from logistics and getting the kill onto whoever was in bedroom after that. That gave them some breathing room, which put the pressure, which transferred all the pressure back onto defense. So Bandit did a good job. Bandit of Viper, I guess, he did a good job in trying to do the retake, but in the end, Hibana had the time advantage, pushing it all the way to the end of the line. So it was Rival making all of the corrections based on what they have understood from their mistakes and V5's plays in the previous round. So that's good adaptability we're seeing from Rival. Hope this continues.
Yeah, it was really a big miscue from V5 there. They had they didn't prevent the push coming up main stairs, and they allowed Crix to get that pick, which brought it to a 4v3 situation. And the nade, I say that round was won by the nade from 1UP. Taking out that player playing logistics gave them complete gym control, and having that complete gym control and Crix, it gave Crix the ability to just rotate upstairs. And I mean, at that point, there's not much you can do. Looking as in the likes of V5, so I really liked that play call from. Really like that play call from Rival, but I really think it was a really big miscue by V5, not keeping the control that they needed.
Yeah, right. I have to agree with them. Losing the control towards control to both the Maverick and the Hibana early round, mid round was what changed the tide for them. While we're at it, we noticed Psycho bringing off the Capitan. So he's moved off his Ash pick onto a Capita, which is good. I think now the sites are in basement. That's basement site, right?
Yes, they are playing in Church Arsenal right now.
Yes. So Capita, I guess they want to attempt a blue push. We're seeing here blue or an oil pit push, that smoking off the generator, whoever's holding up behind the generator, might be useful in getting in a slightly more comfortable push. We have a Jaeger, so placing the Capita over there is pretty good, because the ADS does not trap his bolts. So we'll have to see how they attempt to get this push down.
Looks like they are going to be trying to go for what looks like a gym take right now. Or my apologies. a dirt take. I don't know how I mixed up those two callouts. It looks like we're gonna be going for a dirt take. You see Bambi droning that out right now, trying to get a hole in, and I'm assuming he's gonna try and frag out that player playing deep in dirt, but I think he's playing too deep in dirt in order for that to land anything, and it doesn't net any kills. And we still are seeing a very, very strong position from Unknown Gamer. And with both those frags off the board, he's going to be able to get out that shield even if he wants to. We see Unknown Gamer, he's rotating up. He's getting a little bit aggressive here, as we are seeing Reaction taking some damage from Nostalgia, as he is attempting to try and push down the main stairs to try and get some control of 90. And Viper with a pick onto Crix, that's going to be your Hibana off the board, and I don't know if they got open the Moto Hatch, but Viper's going to be traded out by Psycho. Moto Hatch still isn't open. That is a very, very good pick, especially from the defense right there. Psycho getting his second kill onto Nanny. It's going to be a 4v3. We still do know that that V5 does very well, but getting a little bit aggressive there, but Nostalgia not being punished for it, taking Psycho off the board, as Psycho seems to have been lighting up a little bit. 12 seconds left on the round. Price getting Reaction off the board, and Bambi's going to get very desperate for trying to get that plant down. Diffuser's going to be down. The last attacker has to pick it up and get it down, but he's not going to have any time. That is going to be a third round won by V5.
So, I mean, plant attempt in a 2v3, I doubt that would have worked in their favor. The C4 being timed well, getting the kill, it was more or less gone at that stage because Smoke still had his canisters, Bandit had C4, Viper getting the early kill onto Hibana really also put the favor in defenders well. So all in all, I guess it was more or less a clean sweep. There was attack was showing some good time management there, but yet defense had a clean advantage there.
Yeah, the attack seems to have a checklist they like to clear out. They like to clear out all the roamers playing upstairs. They clear out logistics. They clear out garage. They push down from there. They push down to kitchen. They try and get open the kitchen hatch. But then what? I mean, they didn't get the Moto Hatch open. They had Bambi all the way. They had Bambi all the way outside. While they were trying to execute down into the site, they made a late call, a very, very late call to try and get Bambi to push into dirt, and he wasted both of his frag grenades that netted nothing. I mean, there was still a shield in there, and it was really Unknown Gamer's position to lose. And without that dirt control, without dirt control, you can't get Arsenal control, and without blue control, you can't get Arsenal control. And without Moto Hatch open, you can't get Church control. So it was a very tough round there for the attack. Psycho really getting a lot of the picks he needed. Getting Viper off the board early was very good for them, but they weren't able to net anything out of it. The defense still had, even though they were at a man disadvantage, they still had the advantage in their positioning. So we are going to be going back to a CC cash defense, and it looks like we're going to be having players pushing into dirt right now. I wonder if they know that Nanny is playing right here behind boxes, and they drone out his position. Oh, they finally see him at the end, but Nanny is still able to get a nice little peek up there. I don't know if he knows that there's another player playing in there. He does. He's aware of that positioning, but that's your Twitch off the board. Twitch off the board in the early parts of the round, and it looks like the other player, I believe it was 1UP playing in dirt, is just going to rotate.
Oh, that was actually Reaction on the IQ. I'm surprised that Nanny's Jaeger was actually able to get to land most of the damage onto Reaction. So that was a bold pick. Reaction clearly had an advantage in terms of the angle. And while we're at it, Maverick gets the kill. Sorry, my mistake. Maverick is killed by Price's Kaid. So that is, again, the same mistake, the same thing that happened in the previous cash defense has happened here again. The Maverick is out of the board without the wall even being open. This would have been a better time to maybe bring Kali and Thermite, but I don't know, maybe they have a contingency plan in mind. So the defense attack is down by both Maverick and Twitch. That's your fragging and your heartbeat support out without the walls being open. So we're back at square one, back in the round two,
Attackers
round
have
three, where
recovered their diffuser.
it was hard for them to win a cash round when Maverick was out of the board. Oh, boom goes the dynamite. Viper. Viper showing that he is the man who's getting the kills. Gets the kill onto IQ. That's already a
Attackers have
2v5 with just
located
the
a bomb.
sledge. 1v5. It's not my math here. These Viper's actually killing faster than I can speak. So that's just one up in a 1v5. This is just near impossible for the sledge to win. For my Magnus, that's Nani getting, and it's a flawless round. I guess we're going to see a rehost. Oh, but regardless, that was a very good execute by defense. Viper and Nani doing a good job. Kaid of Price denying Maverick the access to the wall. So that was wonderful. 10 out of 10 to Rivals. Claps on the board.
Yeah, we are going to be going to a rehost for the sound bug, but I have to highlight right there that C4 play was a 200 IQ play. He knew that that logistics hatch was open. He knew that there was nobody in logistics. So what he did was he placed the C4 one up main stairs, waited to hear the drop, and when players drop in, there's positioning that he knows that they're going to be getting into. So he just he waited to hear that drop and blew the C4 as soon as he came down. Beautiful play by Viper right there. And yeah, having that Maverick taken off the board early, there's nothing you can really do to open up that wall, because as you saw, Kaid was really able to just throw his charge over there, and it makes it very difficult for the attackers to take the electric claw off the board. So we are going to be going to a rehost. We will be right back with you guys momentarily to continue out this round. It is, I believe, 5-1 in the side of V5. It's 4-1 in the sides of V5. So we will be back with you momentarily.
Interstellar night space, no one else sees. In the underground, we're living low key. Can give you peace here in your mind. And as I found no place in the dead of night to come alive. Life is waiting on the other side. Follow me into the underground. Watch the world changing as the sun.
Into this match. Let me know when we're back in live, baby. Hello. Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are back with our match with the Streamline Minor League Tournament. We have our game V5 versus Rival, and a great match. V5's up 4-1, and with just a commanding lead that last time on the CC cash room defense. Dova, I know me and you had talked about that, but that C4 from below by Viper, an absolutely 600 IQ play. Forge, my bad.
It's okay. In, anyways, Viper showing he's the C4 king and the frag king, or however king you want to call him at the moment, because he's really influencing the round, staying true to probably he's a bandit main, I don't know, but it's working out for V5 really well. Maverick in both the instances has been denied on cash, and just by the usage of Maverick's own simple angle, he's just attempting to get the wall open, and Kite gets a good angle from rafters onto the wall. So Maverick trick not working out best for Rivals. I really think they need to shuffle up the strats or look for a contingency. Maybe go for vertical, focus more on vertical play, and have the Maverick attempt to get construction if they ever go on pushing cash again. But I don't think so, because we're just one round away from the mid-game swap.
Yeah, and V5 is a very deadly team on attack too. With the likes of Viper, I believe Viper had gotten an ace clutch on Clubhouse last time they had played, and yeah, I mean, a very commanding lead. I mean, I really like the way that they're really controlling the maps, the way they are able to really rotate around and not give the attackers any. The attackers have yet to gain any solid map control other than the round that they had won on Jib Bedroom, but that was more so because the defense didn't give it to them. Or my apologies, the attackers actually revert back to what I originally said. The defenders didn't contest those areas, and they got two very good picks. Were able to gain gym control very easily. But right now, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from V5. I think that they are very commandingly winning this round, and they've shown themselves as being one of the stronger teams in the tournament as of now. And coming forward, they're really doing as much as they can. We're seeing Maverick go for this wall again, and one up, playing very well. And Psycho's going to be the first one taken off the board again by Viper. I'm curious as where that pick went down. I believe that happened all in. Oh, Viper with the cheeky little angle from Oil Pit, taking the player, pushing up rafters. Very good play there. And Viper, that's his 8th kill of the game. And now they're going to need someone to push from below in order to take off that mute jammer.
I'm guessing that was a I would say a shortfall in Rival's droning attempts, because that Ash should have droned out the oil pit location to see if there was anything there, because that's a known angle. That angle's been used at least twice in this tournament before. I remember it was being used among the first 2 games. Either it was Sangfreud or was it Moha? I'm not able to recollect, but it was the angle that was used well enough in this tournament. So they should have watched out for that. But it worked for Viper capitalizing on Psycho attempting to be a true Ash main by just running in. But clearly, the advantage with just 1 minute left, Attack has the wall open, but they have lost their entry fragger and 2 frags, 2 explosives that come with it. And while you're at it, Unknown gets the kill onto Krixer. Hibana's out, and Nostalgia gets his kill onto 1UP. That's the Maverick as well. So it's all up to Thermite and Zofia.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, the only way they can really take this is if they can gain logistics control, because they aren't going to be getting any of that construction control. And the player trying to push logistics is taken off before he can even drop that hatch. And Reaction, looking all around the map right now, because these late round rotates have really been to the detriment of the attack, and he thinks that there's still a player playing downstairs about to rotate up. Bambi's going to be taken out on the roof. Not much he can do. It's all going to be left up to Reaction. His position is known, with 3 attackers going towards him, and he is going to be taken out in the end there by Unknown Gamer. very wonderfully done. Actually, I don't think he was taken out by Unknown Gamer. I think he was taken out by Viper right there, but very wonderfully executed.
Yeah, and that was a choke point hallway with 2 barbed wires and smoke canisters with what, 20 seconds left? It wasn't, yeah, with just 20 seconds left. It was already almost a lost cause for the Zofia. So, very good win, 5-1 decisive lead for V5 on to Rivals. And now we're at the halfway mark. We'll have to see how Rivals can hopefully overcome some of the mistakes they made in on that they were making an attack. And we'll have to see. Clubhouse with these bans is said to be slightly more different decided, because if Thatcher and Monty were to be on the board, attack would have a much
Defenders,
easier
protect
time
your bombs
taking the
from being
side. So
defused by attackers.
I don't expect this to be a 60-40 defense favored, probably maybe a 51-49 defense. Depends on uh, depends on your team composition as well. So this is the first time we're seeing Maestro brought out, and we also have 11 anti-grenades over here brought out by defense. So clearly they're attempting to capitalize on the bulletproof intel that Maestro provides and hopefully block that off, protect those Maestro camps at all costs, and maybe some rafter control as well.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, and something I kind of want to point out is they six-picked off the Kaid, and I'm not agreeing with that decision a whole ton. Not having that Kaid charge on, I mean, they saw that the attackers are not going to be bringing a Thermite, so they're opting for a little bit more of a faster paced lineup, bringing all 3 speeds except the likes of Nanny on that Sledge, but Sledge is still a very strong attacker. Yeah, I'm curious as to what they're doing. Oh, to explain what the Sledge is doing right there, he's clearing out that wall. So as soon as Price goes to Maverick it, he's able to the wall will immediately open up rather than having to wait for one of the players to come over and soft breach it. But it looks like the wall's glitched maybe a little bit right there. No issues. They're going to rotate around, and Price is going to make his attempt to Maverick off this wall.
So this is like a double-edged sword. You get the wall open quickly and it's less glitchy, but at the same time, you don't have the safety of a soft wall when the metal falls off. So we'll have to see if, but then, they don't really have anything that is, they don't really have any presence in servers that unlike how Rivals had an angle, sorry, V5 had an angle onto Maverick, who was opening the wall in the previous 6 rounds. They don't have the same over here, so it might be a safer opening for Price. So we'll have to see how that goes out. There's a Raptors push that is coming in. The Wamai reaction for having a solo hold with the shield. Wamai with the shield is clearly really strong and can hold off Raptors on his own. But Bambi, the bandit, falls really early to Viper. So Viper, the bandit Ashman we're seeing, it's working out really well for V5. That's a lot of cyber pulling up reaction.
A slew of utility going in there. Reaction having a Capital Bolt frag grenade, about 300 flashbang grenades, not being able to see his own death and demise being taken out there on the rafters, and that gives the attackers rafters control. And if they have that wall open in cash, or in CC, it looks like they do, they should be able to go for their default plant now. If they have one player playing out on that balcony, that's exactly what they need. They're going to bait out some more of these gas canisters, and it's all going to be left up to one-up Psycho and Crix in order to hold down the site. Not to sleep on the fact that they have some very strong operators, but your Maestro being taken off the board by Unknown Gamer, risky peek going in right there. The attackers are going to need to get that diffuser down, but as I say that, they get it down. It's all going to be left onto the Jaeger, and Psycho is not able to clear it up. Viper with, I believe, his 3rd kill of that round, and that is going to be the round 1 by the attack. Match point for V5.
I mean, they're really proving what you said. V5 is really strong on attack. That was, that was well said by you. They're showing that 20-second meta is not a thing over here. It's basically 20-second meta what? Because you could see the wall open up at the right time, Maverick getting an unhindered wall opening, and Capita investing the utility at the right time, coordinating with the Ash to take off the rafters. The Wamai on rafters would have proven to be a problem because he can Wamai juggle as well. Wamai juggle, for those who don't know, just throwing out a disc after the first one gets captured, so people can't throw a slew of projectiles at you. But it didn't work out because the Ash and the Capita were coordinating very well. I think the Cap was uh, coordinating from the wall outside.
Attackers
I
need to
couldn't
locate
quite
and
catch
defuse
that, but
as many bombs as they can.
But the coordination worked out. Wamai fell. That's free reign onto whole of garage and rafters. And you also had one person pushing in from the CCTV window into Cash, who had that angle onto the window. That was Maestro who fell there, who fell to the Capita. Even though Jaeger got the refrag, it was more or less Ghana's at that point at 1v4. So a good coordination, perfectly timed utility investment by V5, and that's why they're at match point right now.
Yeah, and beautiful execute. They had the control they wanted. They had the angles they needed. Taking out the player, the Wamai on
Attackers' objective is
rafters.
to locate a bomb and
That
defuse
as soon as that Wamai on rafters had gone down, and they had that cache wall open, and they still had all 5 attackers. That was the round. That was the round. That was V5 taking literally the control they needed, and that was the round. We are going to be going to a Church Arsenal defense right now. It looks like Unknown Gamer opening up that wall, using his bullets to his best advantage, and we are going to be seeing a pulse playing from below, which is, I'm assuming, to stop that kitchen take. But we aren't seeing anybody make any pushes towards kitchen as of now, and we also are not seeing a Kaid brought, so there's going to be no hatch denial. So the attack really aren't going to be hindered in trying to get any of those hatches open, unless they're planning on doing any impact tricking, but it doesn't look like there are any impact players playing over
Yeah, you have Echo bringing in the barbed wire here instead of the impacts. The C4 does go out, but it does no damage. And the mute is out of the board, so that's one C4. I mean, I'm assuming that was the mute C4. Pulse throws a C4, trying to get something in. He does. Oh no, that's Manny. My mistake. Manny gets the grenade kill onto the downed mute. So there's tunnel push coming in, dirt push coming in to whoever's there. Oh, it's going to be risky. Are we going to see a kill over here? Oh, that was bad timing. Oh, how did that happen? Viper just gets extremely lucky and Pulse, I don't know, maybe he whiffed or the holographic sight blind spot blocked Sophia. I don't know. It didn't work out well for Rivals, and it's already 5v2. Echo's the only person holding it off. Jaeger of reaction. Crix trying to bring it down to a 3v3. So at 1 minute mark, this does not look too bad for defense. But Maverick's already inside. Does he know the Echo's behind the board? I think he does, but it doesn't work out. Crix does get the kill onto the Maverick, so it's the defense seems to have the crown again for the time being. Oh, that's risky. So Hibana's trying to get a tight angle of it from kitchen onto whoever's behind this cupboard in near the AK rack for getting the callouts already. So we'll have to see how the push goes here. It's the Capitals attempting a solo dirt push. He might be in a good position to use his fires to flush out the Echo. I hope does that. Ooh, that's a nice headshot. It's a 2v2. It could be anybody's game right now, by the way. But with only 20 seconds left, Attack needs to make haste and go for the push.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing Viper having that control. Nostalgia's going to drop down into Church. He's going to try and get the plant down. He's actually in a very good position. As long as Maestro is able to hold off that attack. And no reaction, able to get that 2-piece coming in, getting Nostalgia and Unknown Gamer off the board with that late rotate from the kitchen hatch. That's going to be the Defenders round 1. And I just want to talk real quick about what had happened there. The attackers gained the control they wanted. They had dirt control, but they didn't clear out the player behind that AK rack, and the player behind the AK rack was able to prevent the push in from dirt. I would have liked to see the Capital push in dirt instead of the Zofia, and then Price made a little bit of a miscue pushing into Arsenal without having any intel on where the defenders were playing. So it really left him up to a heads up gunfight against 3 players in unknown positions, which understandably is not to your advantage. But I really liked how the defenders held that off. Even though they gave up some very early ground, they were able to they're really able to choke in the attack, and we are now going to be going back to a cash CC defense. But I really did like that round from Rival. I think they really did show a very well communicated or very well executed turtle hold, especially in the last few seconds of the round.
Yeah, I mean, even if Price's slow push into Arsenal with Echo still behind the AK rack would have worked out if even if he had gotten the kill onto the Echo, he would have been refragged by whoever was holding off blue. So that push, since the Capita was not covering him from behind, wouldn't have worked out, in my opinion, in the favor of attack. So defense seemed to have a contingency plan despite Pulse's whiff early on. That really should not have happened. But personally, if he was using the holographic side, I can confirm that the blind spot has gotten me killed a couple of times. But regardless, good defensive hold. They did have some refragging angles. So even though it's at match point, I do hope they can pull off some rounds here.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing a little bit of a different church, or a little bit of a different take right here, as they're going to be using the Habana charge to open up the cash wall. Curious as to why they're doing that, because she's way more fit for taking this. She's a lot more fit for taking this. My apologies, this garage wall, but I think it's because they had opted to electrify the garage wall instead of that cache, that CC wall. Wow, my brain is not operating at 100% capacity right now. As we are moving in onto the round, Maestro Maverick is getting that wall open. It's garage 2. They are going to have that open. It's going to be trying to clear out reaction playing on top of Raptors, while Viper is attempting to push in right now through the main lobby. They already have that CC wall open. They had it open about a minute into the round, and they're going to be droning this out. If they find 1-up's positioning, they might be able to make something happen out of it. We have Bambi, who is currently on a roam on the top of blue stairs. He's going to try and rotate into lounge, but reaction's going to be taken off very early. That's your player in Rafters. Now you've essentially given up Rafters control. Nanny's going to be able to rotate up. It's going to be on to Bambi to potentially try and take him out, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to. This is all of their intel off the board, and curious choice to get rid of that shield, that he's going to be taken out by the Maestro playing on top of that table. He's going to be able to get 2 off the board, but he's going to be taken out very quickly. It's going to be in this side of the attackers right now, as we're going to be seeing a gunfight coming in from Nostalgia. Nostalgia getting out 1 up. It's all going to be left on to Psycho. Pistols out, trying to win that gunfight. It is going to be a 1v1, Crix versus Viper. Crix left on very little health. Viper, his position being very unknown. I think he's a little bit more off-site. He's going to pre-fire into the corner, gets the headshot off onto Crix, and that is going to be the game won by V5 Esports.
That was a close end towards the end. I mean, personally, I didn't expect Hibana to be bringing the pistol, but I can completely understand the bearing man. The bearing man is not always reliable. Regardless, Viper of V5 being very consistent throughout the game, getting the last kill onto the Kaid. That Kaid did attempt to delay the time. There was props to him. That was a good retake. But regardless, Viper showing that he has the team on his shoulders and he will get them to the win. So claps on board. V5 getting a really good win against Rivals. Rivals did have their moments. That first attack round which they won was also very good, and the previous round where they had the Church Arsenal defense, that was again a really good hold. But towards the end, V5 just turning out to be a consistently better team.
V5 coming up very, very strong right there. I really did like the entire team composition, and Viper and Unknown Gamer coming up huge for their teams. Both, I don't know if you remember prior to the rehost, both of them having roughly 6 or 7 kills, and then coming in the second half having 6 or 7 kills. So very, very well done. We are going to have, I believe, one more round in our round of 8, and we're going to be moving on to the finals stage coming up soon. I want to thank everybody for joining us today for the Streamline Minor League Tournament. I am your caster Pond, joined here by Forge, and I hope everybody has a great day.